When you found your success and became the spin doctor, and 76 posted amazing, incredible numbers.
Right.
1,155 yards, 13 touchdowns. I got it. In that extreme part of your life, football-wise, how did that lift you up? And obviously, people treated you differently.
Right.
But for you personally, when you became the spin doctor, and I heard you learn that move from
Earl the Pearl Monroe.
And basketball, right?
Yeah.
To integrate that into your game, as amazing as it is. Can you take us through what that time was like for you?
Well, in those days, I'm actually, when I got drafted up here at #1, when I was at the University of Miami, I played wide receiver, cornerback, and running back. I was not, just the one, everything. I played those three positions, so I was good at all of them, until I went to the college all-star games, and then I was used as primarily a running back, and then I won MVP in every all-star game I played in. And then I'm like, okay, because when I was at the University of Miami, they moved me to wide receiver, and then the corner and all that.
You played fullback.
Yeah, fullback.
Too, right?
I did all that, and so I played fullback here in Minnesota.
Right.
But after all that. And then I got up here with Minnesota and pretty much concentrated on being a fullback, and I was upset about that because I'm a running back. And then Bud Grant and Jerry and a couple other guys came to me and said, hey, look, our offense features the fullback, and you'll like it when they get done with what they're doing, because they incorporated my ability to run with my ability to catch, and they created this offense. It's called the Purple Offense, and it was off to the races, running, receiving, catching, scoring. It was, those two guys were way beyond their time.
I have a feeling Jerry didn't say it in terms that you could repeat today.
I can't repeat it on on air here, but yeah, he was one of a kind, let's say that.
So when they first came to you and said, we're going to do this, and yes, we're building it around you, were you a little skeptic?
I was very skeptical, because Bud said it like this. Bud says, listen, this is what we're going to do. You're going to be the best in the league, but you're not going to be recognized as the best in the league. I'm like, wait a minute. How am I going to be the best in the league, but not being recognized as the best in the league? I don't quite understand that. And his answer was, because nobody's going to do it like you're going to do it. It made a little sense to me. And then it all, boom, there it was.
Well, because you set the table, so to speak, for how the position was played after you in terms of all purpose.
Right, yes.
Right?
That's definitely. Never get the credit. It's like, okay, when you're the best in the game and you're during your time, and then you don't even get recognized for it, and then 20 years later, guys are doing the same thing that you did 20 years ago, and they're getting the credit for your offense. Kind of like, wait a minute, something wrong with this picture here, and why is that? But sometimes I think some organizations push their players once they get them, and they push them, give them the help they need to go to achieve that ultimate Hall of Fame thing. I don't think that's been done for me here, not at all. Why that is, I couldn't tell you. Now, listen, hey, I'm a Viking through and through until the day I died, no question about it. But, when I sit and I see players of my era there and I'm not, then I question the selecting process or whatever. But our way of doing things was unique, and I think a gentleman by the name of, he was a reporter, was his name, last name was Zimmerman. I think I saw a report he made, and he said Chuck Foreman and the Vikings changed the concept of football. Now, if that's true, then there should be recognition for that for Jerry Burns, Bud Grant, and myself.
And it's frustrating when you say that you're part of that shift.
Right.
And then there's some people that just look at pure numbers.
Right.
You know, but there's got to be some sort of concept for mixing the two.
Right.
Get yourself in there. Get Jim Marshall in there.
Yeah.
You know,
who knows?
We need to form a committee. That's what I said.
I don't know. Who knows how they select?
Yeah. But
You know, only thing I know, there's something wrong with the process. You know, in my opinion. And so, but the Minnesota Vikings seem to get slighted from that aspect of the game because we did not win a Super Bowl. But I thought the Hall of Fame was an individual accomplishment.
yes.
Not a team accomplishment. And then when you sit down about the teams, during our time, there was only one team better. That was the Super Bowl champion.
And if you won the Super Bowl, you know, all of you would be in there, right?
All of us would be in there. So there's a, I don't know what it is. And like I said, I'm not losing any sleep over it because I know what I was to the game in my time. But it's kind of a shame. Not just me. I'm sure there's other guys in the same position that, you know, we got these guys out there selecting, making the selections as to who's going to be in the Hall of Fame. And then when you see and you are honest with yourself about your time playing the game, and then I'm like, wait a minute, he's there, but in my time it was O.J. Simpson and me. Different ways of doing it,
Different ways.
but the two best in the game.
I would have loved to see you leaping over some cars.
Well, I used to be able. I used to,
was.
I used to jump tall people in a single bound, but obviously that's out the door.
So today, I think I read somewhere, and I agree with you, that your favorite running back is Christian McCaffrey right now.
Right.
And what is it about? Does he run a similar style than you did? What do you like best about his game?
I think he's first of all, he runs with attitude, and let me say this: he runs hard. He's got the quickness. He's got the speed. He can catch the ball. He can do anything on that football field. He's not the biggest guy, but there's something about him that's, in my opinion, that's really, 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 really special. And I like Kamara too, but this guy, once he got to San Francisco and out of New Orleans, he took off to he was good down there, but he was really, really great out there in San Francisco. So yeah, he is by far my favorite back.
Do you like how it has changed in the NFL the past couple of years with the running back, and now it's more of a, if you will, like a platoon position? Aaron Jones is here now, Ty Chandler, we got Kene, Wongwu. Do you like how the NFL is using backs? And what do you think about the talent now on Vikings? Two different things.
I think the Vikings, okay, as far as the runner receiver, which is how I
yeah, you were the first to catch out of the backfield.
The runner receiver, that's the dominant position in the NFL now. The pure runner, he's almost going to be obsolete because they're going to want somebody that can run and catch. Now, they might bring him in on 3rd and 1 or something. I don't know. Not even third, because third down you want your best players in there. But I don't know. I think the running back of today, for a lot of different reasons, because wide receivers are getting paid more, so guys are going to want to catch it and run it, so they can be kind of like a hybrid back. And so, to me, the more you can do, the better you're going to be. And for our situation in our game, for our players with the Vikings that I've seen play, I think that's one of their gold positions, I call it. And when I say that, because I think you can put any one of them in there, and they can catch it, and they can run it, and they can pick up the most important thing on 3rd down. They can pick up the blitz, because if you can't pick up that blitz, you can't be in the game on 3rd down.
Right.
And so there's a lot of different things that go along with being a great runner receiver, outside of just running and catching, that you have to be able to do. Recognizing blitzes and all that kind of stuff. And with Aaron Jones, you know, he's one of my, I might have talked about Christian McCaffrey, but he's not far behind. And I only say he's not far behind maybe because he played with Green Bay, but I can't get him. But I'm glad to see we got him. And I think he alone with will change some of the way we can approach offensively this year with the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, I'm loving your ring right there.
Right. Well,
what is that from?
That's from the University of Miami Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went in there like about 8 months ago. There's a whole lot to it, but I'm not going to get into it on there. But anyway, I'm in there, so that's one of my favorite rings out there. But
Beautiful.
That's like some of the greatest football players ever played. This game came out of the U, and and being one of the top ones coming out of there, it's a great honor. So
it is.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll have a gold jacket to go with it someday.
Well, like I said, if it happens, it happens. But I'm in a good place.
Well, for me, you're already there. I adore you. Everyone has seen you on TV, and you just open your heart and your knowledge. And you're just in an amazing place that you don't need the Hall of Fame.
No, don't
but
need
they
it.
need you. That's
Well,
how I
appreciate that. That's for sure. But like I said, it's been a privilege. Number one, to be drafted by the Vikings, and as a young man coming in and not knowing what's going to be happening, being with the team that I was with, the coaches that I was with. Bud Grant was he was ahead of his time in how he treated his players, and being in Minnesota, coming from Miami, it was a whole different thing. Cold, number one, the people were nice. I tell you, I was over in St. Paul, coming out of the hotel, dropped my money on the ground. And so this person came, picked up the money, and came to me and says, "Hey, you dropped your money." I'm like, "What?"
Where have I landed?
No, I'm sitting there like, "You giving me my money back?" Somebody else would have took it and run. But that was one of the first things I knew about Minnesota. But the people in Minnesota were just so nice, when I first got here. Of course, it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a blessing to be here. And if it wasn't, I wouldn't still be here, but I'm here.
I was going to say, and you never left.
No, never.
Minnesota takes you in and doesn't let you go.
Between here and my Miami roots, I'm settled.
Well, Chuck, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming in, because,
thank you.
Like I told you when I asked you, you should be honored.
I appreciate it.
I'm glad we had a chance to chat.
Thank you so much. It's been my privilege.
Thank you.
Thank you.